So I'm starting a new series on my channel called Meet Your Local Law Enforcement. And this is something that I hope will catch on around the country with especially people who are activists of any type. Go and get the disciplinary history of any officers, deputies, any law enforcement. You find out their name, go pull their disciplinary history. If you have an interaction with them, go pull their disciplinary history. Especially anyone who receives a citation, for even if it's a traffic violation, doesn't matter. If you receive a citation and you're going to have to go to court, go pull their disciplinary history. We're going to start off today with, this is Lieutenant Robert Rahn, or Volusia County Sheriff's Department. Robert Rahn ended up coming onto my radar when he refused, to allow me access to a public meeting, and B, when he failed to give his subordinates a direction to identify themselves, which is their department policy. I asked two other deputies for their name and IDs, and they refused. And I asked him to give them direction, as he's their superior, to give them direction, and he refused to do so. So Robert Rahn has made it onto our radar. So let's take a look at Robert Rahn. Let's go back to 1997. Now, Mr. Rahn at that point would have probably still been a pretty young man. So what we're looking at here is a letter to him from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. And the subject matter was refusal to serve an arrest warrant. And it was indicated to him that the punishment falls within the penalty guidelines specified in Rule 11B-27.004, Florida Administrative Code. And it goes on to tell him, you are advised, however, that future acts of misconduct may subject your certification as an officer to disciplinary action by this commission. Further, this action may be considered in subsequent commission proceedings should future acts of misconduct be committed. Well, what was the act of misconduct? Let's take a look and see what Robert Rahn did. So we're going all the way back to February of 1997. So these were the charges, if you will, brought against him. Neglect of duty, association with criminals, misdemeanor injurious to the department, Florida State Statute 839.19. Sounds intriguing. In December 1996, you entered into a sexual relationship with one Lori Coven, aka Lori Grieger, Lori Davis, Lori Ragucci. You allowed Coven to spend the night at your home an estimated 10 times, and also allowed her to store clothing and property at this residence. On or about the 17th of December, you conducted an FCIC wants inquiry, which produced information that Coven was wanted under felony warrant number 961000471, grand theft. You admittedly failed to investigate or confirm this information. You took it upon yourself to arrange a meeting with Coven, and admittedly, you informed her that she may have an open arrest warrant. According to Ms. Coven, she confirmed to you that she was wanted. You did not effect Ms. Coven's arrest. Ms. Coven also informed you that she had spent some months incarcerated on bad check charges. You advised VCSO internal affairs investigators that you continued associating with Ms. Coven. She hung out at your home and you engaged in sexual intercourse with her again after you were aware that she was wanted. Deputy Rahn, your refusal to investigate and serve, redacted, constitutes a failure to give due regard, proper attention to, and carry out the duties and responsibilities of your position as a deputy sheriff, whether through carelessness, oversight, or neglect. So that was the charge. And we come down here, and this was under Sheriff Robert Vogel at the time. After earnest consideration, my decision to dismiss you remains unchanged. You are hereby dismissed from your position as deputy sheriff, effective immediately. So, looks like Mr. Rahn lost his position, lost his job with the Volusia County Sheriff's Department. So, what did he do? Well, he turned around and went to the town of Ponce Inlet. Now, I don't know whether he was hired there or not, but he certainly put in an application. Here's the application from September 1997 that he applied for a position with Ponce Inlet. Now, what I find rather strange is if we go back down here, you are advised, however, that future acts of misconduct may subject your certification as an officer to disciplinary action by the commission. Wouldn't one think that harboring a wanted felon would be enough to have your certification removed? Apparently, even back in 1997, there were special rules that applied only to certain people. So he applied at Ponce Inlet, and somehow he found his way back to the sheriff's department. Don't know how, but somehow he found his way back to the sheriff's department, because here we have an occurrence on 3/31/2010, caring for equipment and use of equipment. So let's see what he did in 2010. You were traveling westbound on State Road 44, approaching Canal Street, when the vehicle in front of you started to brake abruptly. You were unable to stop in time to avoid a collision and hit the bumper hitch of the vehicle in front of you, causing $335 damage to your vehicle and $0 damage to the vehicle you hit. So apparently he was following too close. That is something that you or I would get a ticket for. This is why it's important to pull these disciplinary histories and find out what they have been disciplined for. Now, a violation subject up to a 5-day suspension and or loss or suspension of the equipment use privilege. And it looks like all he got was a verbal reprimand. So what do we have? What else do we have? Well, it looks like in 2015, use of equipment, technical skills, being safety-minded, caring for equipment. 26.2.98, careless handling of equipment and vehicles resulting in damage, loss, employees. So let's see, what did he do? On January 9th, 2015, you were involved in a single vehicle accident where, operating your sheriff's vehicle while patrolling the city of Deltona, you failed to use due care and struck a mailbox with the side mirror of your patrol car. The impact caused $300.52 in damage to the county vehicle and no damage to the mailbox. Now, I will give him this, that at least he hasn't damaged anybody else's property. Well, I mean, I guess this is all our property, isn't it? I mean, it belongs to the county, it belongs to the government, and according to the Florida Constitution, well, that's us. So $600 worth of damage that he's done so far. He got counseling. Now, I seem to remember back in 2010 that it said if any subsequent violations of department policy will result in progressive disciplinary action. Take notice and govern yourself accordingly. That was a verbal reprimand. I guess counseling is a step up from a verbal reprimand. And would that counseling have been something to the extent of, dude, pay attention. Don't drive into mailboxes. I don't know. But there you have it. Robert Rahn, now a lieutenant with the Volusia County Sheriff's Department. This is him. This is the same lieutenant that failed to direct the officers under his command to identify themselves in accordance with their own policy. This is the same Robert Rahn back in 1997 that was terminated from the Volusia County Sheriff's Department for essentially harboring a fugitive. So this is what your tax dollars are paying for. This is what you need to think about. Don't think your sheriff is not aware. Your sheriff is aware. Don't think that his boss, his captain, isn't aware. I'm sure he's aware. If he's not, he will be now. But this is what your tax dollars are paying for. And again, I encourage everyone around the country to start making videos like this. Go and any interactions you have, pull these internal affairs reports, pull these disciplinary histories, and introduce these law enforcement officers to your community, and let's see what they've done. Let's see the skeletons in their closet, because they're out there writing tickets, giving citations. They're going to be the ones who come and take your rights away when the government tells them to. So let's look at the skeletons in their closet. We'll have another one coming up real soon. Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe.